Hey, everybody, I'm Aslan. That is Michael Langston, recruiting analyst for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. Our guy, Michael, grinding all last weekend, grinding this week on a Wednesday. Unbelievable. Show some appreciation to him. Michael, what would you like for them to do to show appreciation?
Yeah, hit the like button. Certainly hit the like button helps us promote all these great things, and certainly we're out there grinding for you guys. So simple thing we're just asking you just to hit the like button to help promote our stuff and to help so you can see more. Austin Cox out there grinding. I'm out there at the Big Man Camp. Austin was at 7-on-7. Had a South Carolina transfer offensive lineman on campus. So there's a lot to go over. So hit that like button, guys.
Yeah, when he says we, it's him and Austin and Ira helping out behind the scenes. I'm not doing anything. I'm just here in my air conditioning house. All right, let's get to it then, Michael. You were at the Big Man Camp, as you said. Who stood out to you and who jumped off, I guess, the page, who popped?
Yeah, I would say the main eyes that people were on was Wilkie Nod, four-star defensive end. That was kind of the one that everyone was excited to see. You could tell the coaches were excited to see him. They're pursuing him pretty hard, but they wanted to see kind of how he looks in this setting. And he's quick in space. Used his hands really well. Violent, got off the line. He was really he had a really solid day where he had very little trouble getting to the quarterback or to the spot they wanted to. And I think he ran around a 4.940, which isn't bad for a defensive end. So went out there and I don't think he heard anything with how FSU felt about him. So I think he had a great performance. Spoke really highly of FSU. You could tell, like, I dropped some nuggets and stuff on the board, but I could tell, like, FSU's kind of the preference. With the relationships the best with FSU. Odell's the main guy that I think he talks to, and then obviously JP and Norvell are a big part of that. Visited last night. Everything seemed to go really well, and just his connection with FSU is undeniable. I mean, he really feels comfortable there, and he's stated several times the FSU led, but I think he's kind of also giving other teams chance that visiting other places. He's kind of going to do that and take some officials, but I think FSU's in a good spot there.
I know his profile says strong side defensive end. Is he a guy that we kind of anticipate setting the edge, not maybe as much of a pass rusher disruptor?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to look. I mean, he's really good against the run. That's what he's really good. But he showed me some pass rushing stuff today that, he gets off the edge very well. I think what they worked with him on was, utilizing your quickness in space. But the way you utilize that is the way you monitor your hands in placement of where your hands need to be right when there's engagement from the offensive tackle. So that's kind of, I think he's a guy that has skills there as a pass rusher, but yeah, definitely against the run, that's where he is tremendous. That's where he does the best. He even mentioned that today to me, and when I interviewed him, that his run support is really something that is a very comfort zone for him.
All right. Well, what about it is a big man camp. We're talking about defensive linemen. Was there anybody on the offensive side in the trenches that you thought might have been somebody the coaching staff took a liking to?
Yeah, I liked a lot. I like 2025, and I actually just created his profile. I'm not even sure if Aslan could pull it up. I created it probably like 15 minutes ago. He's already gotten offers from Nebraska and Georgia Tech. He's a 2025 offensive line. His name is Solomon Thomas. He's out of Jacksonville Reigns. Very good prospect. I was very impressed. I love his frame. I love his size. This kid's going to probably be around probably to 6'5" or 320 by the time he gets to be a senior. I thought he was the best offensive lineman. Just technique, footwork, finishing. The way he finishes really jumped out to me when I watched him. Today 1-on-1. I thought he was clearly the best guy, and he doesn't have an offer yet from FSU, but I think he's going to get an offer. I think it happens this week sometime. So that was the guy that really jumped out to me. They also had Jamal Merriweather on campus, a three-star offensive tackle. Little slender, probably around 260, but you couldn't really tell it with his frame. He's got a really strong upper body. He's committed to UCF, as I mentioned, and he's a guy that I thought did pretty well. He's got a lot of reach. He's from the same school as Kanaya Charlton. People recognize that Brunswick up there. That's same school as Kanaya. And I think even though he's committed to UCF, I think if FSU did push, I think he's a guy that I could see being in this class because he likes Atkins so much, and there's a lot of love about how he teaches stuff that I think he's a guy that Yeah, he's probably not, one of their top targets right now, but he is definitely a guy that they stay really consistent on. Meriwether told me afterwards that he talks to Atkins like every day. He wants to officially visit FSU, so that's kind of probably happen down the line, and probably for a game or something like the Clemson game, I think you could possibly see him officially visit FSU, but it really depends on the pursuit of FSU. If they pursue, I think FSU will be tough to beat there. But yeah, Solomon Thomas was the best offensive line outside, you know, the transfer that was on campus. But I think Solomon in the performance of the camp was the best guy that I saw.
All right. That's it. Have a good one, everybody. I'm kidding. Let's talk about that possible transfer. I mean, he is in the portal after all from South Carolina, Jazston Turnetine. Uh, being on campus, that's obviously a big factor. Has he visited any other schools, and where do you think he is in his decision making process?
I don't think he's visiting other schools, and I think FSU's been the team that consistently I've heard the most communication with. They're really it's a perplexing recruitment because
He's 6'7", 342. Good grief.
well, he's not 342. He's not
Okay.
that size. That's incorrect. He's like around 328 probably.
Oh,
He looked good. People can see it. You can see the picture. We put it on the front page or it's on the PRB. I took a picture of him today, and yeah, he's probably around 6'6". 328. I would say when I saw him. But the thing that's perplexing is a lot of your roster is already pretty much close to set. So adding a late guy like this, usually you have to make sure it's a comfort zone for everybody. Plus, he's technically not eligible where he hasn't finished his credits yet. So you have to wait until that is finalized too. And that's a big part of the equation where I think if he does that, which I expect him to, everything I'm hearing is fairly positive. As you can tell, he's not 340 there. That's not a 340 guy. From my perspective, I
well,
mean,
6'6" is. I mean, 6'6" is a big human being. But I got you. I got you. You're out
yeah,
there.
yeah. So I think he's likely to get the credits and the grades and stuff work go out, and then FSU just has to decide if they're gonna pursue and if they offer him because they haven't offered, even though people keep saying he's offered, he hasn't been offered. And I talked to a very good source at FSU when it comes to offensive linemen that would know, and they told me like I got the indication that hey, if the grades work out, this is a guy that we're probably likely going to pursue and add. And then the other dynamic is you have to make sure your team is everything's cool with adding somebody that late. It's one thing adding Dimitri Emmanuel because everyone kind of knew that was a place they needed a spot there, but this is more of a I think a luxury that you do need a left tackle, which is his main position, but you got to make sure everything's kosher and it matches out well for what they want. So I think it's um, really up to FSU, Atkins, and Norvell if hey are they going to pursue. I personally lean a little bit more towards they're going to pursue and they're likely going to get him. I mean that's kind of where I sit.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm trying to see what his draft eligibility year is here. It says 2023. All right, so this would be his because he played in JUCO. He's only been in South Carolina there for 2 seasons, so I thought maybe he'd be a multi-year kind of rental or whatever. But I mean, those. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean these grades are not good at all.
Yeah,
These grades are
yeah,
well below 60,
yeah.
which
And
is
he
basically
yeah,
the
and he
barometer. Go ahead.
right. I was just going to say he started for 7 or 8 years or 7 8 games, excuse me, with South Carolina. So he has really good game experience. He's played in the SEC. He's started in games. So he's a guy that has played there. But yes, the numbers, a lot of red and yellows in there that aren't like blow you away like Dimitri Emmanuel when you watch his numbers. So it's just it's more complex than people probably think of making sure that hey, this is a guy we want to make sure it's worth it because that's the other thing. It's like you don't want to go after him, and then what happens if his grades don't work out? Then you're stuck with nothing, and you wasted a scholarship. So there's a lot of dynamics to FSU to figure out. I would lean a little bit more towards that they're going to pursue and they're going to get him, but and it's pretty clear. One thing we do know that's clear, he's visiting FSU today, so that tells me FSU is the school that he prefers because that's the only school, to my knowledge, that he's visited. I think he went over to FAMU too, just to chill, but and visit. So that's not a bad idea. But I think that kind of tells you where his mind's at. That his preference, you would think, leans towards FSU. So now it's just about it falls in FSU's court. Are you going to pursue? And that's what I'll stay on top of and see where we go. I think it's likely, but I would lean likely, not heavily lean likely, but slightly likely that he's probably a guy they'll pursue and probably get.
All right. That's just the tip of the iceberg of all the information that we have over at warchant.com on the premium recruiting board. Full 7-on-7 rundown. Austin Cox posted up at that one, and more information on Mr. Turnetine and other prospects that Michael's going to keep an eye on. Hit that thumbs up again on the way. If you're one of those folks that you want to wait for us to earn it, I think Michael earned it. Thank you, Michael.
Yep, no problem.